What is going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Rip the Net. We are bringing you all the sports, all the culture. Excited to be back for another episode. My name is Eric.
I'm Dre.
I'm Alexi.
It was a little... What y'all been on, man?
Jackboys, and by that I mean music, man.
Pause. Yeah. Yep.
But before that, shout out to Clips because they actually dropped Hip Hop Album of the Year. So that's really what's been on my head.
Can you explain what Clips is? Is that because I think I seen? Is that like Pusha T and like a collective?
Yeah, I'm not gonna act like an OG head. It's Pusha T and his brother Malice, who some people say goes by No Malice now. He's gone down like a very religious path, so I think that's part of it. But yeah, they're a group also from Virginia Beach, same area as Pharrell. They put out music ages ago. I haven't heard of any of it really. I just saw this album was coming out, and I think the album itself, it's called like Gotta Sort 'Em Out. They got a song by that name too. Crazy beats, crazy lyrics. Just, I'm not even the biggest Pusha T fan, but just as a hip hop fan, it's something to appreciate. So highly recommend that. And I'm probably going to go through their older catalog now, just out of curiosity.
Got you. Trying to see what. Do you know like what religion No Malice is like? Oh,
Christianity, I think.
If I were to guess.
So, gotcha. Interesting. Shout out him. I hope. Never listened to him. Never.
Nah, they in all the interviews I've seen, they seem like the most down to earth people. Like, they just talk about whatever. So, shout out to them.
And he dissed Travis. Pusha T dissed Travis on their lead single. I think a few weeks before the album came out, which I guess takes us to Jackboys because there's actually a little response on this album. Although, you know,
if you can call it that,
yeah, ill-advised. You know, whoever told Travis it was a good idea to ever speak on Pusha T's name, you got to fire that dude from the whole Cactus Jack imprint, bro, because that's never gonna go well for you. But we're not going to spend forever on this album. We don't really do in-depth reviews like that. But just quick thoughts. What do you? I know Eric, you haven't checked it out, but what do you think about the album, Alexi?
I mean, I'll say up front, I've been a big Travis fan really since Rodeo. So I know what good music he puts out, and then I know what bad music he puts out. And this is very much on the lower end. I equated it earlier, talking to Dre about like YSL, how they put out albums together and how the music there, like, it's cool to listen to. Like, there are some songs I like, but then a lot of it is just kind of there. And I'm probably, you know, if I hear it when I'm out and about, cool, but I'm not crazy about it. And so this album, it kind of gives that energy to me. It also gives the energy of like Utopia Throwaways before he did the big change after the Astroworld incident. So it kind of seems cobbled together in a way, but there are definitely highlights of Don Toliver, you know, as we all expected. And even with Travis, I think there are still good songs and good ideas there. Kick Out, especially, although 21 on there, that is cursed. He should not be there. He should be off that. He should, you know, he should have been avoided. Dumbo, I also like, as well as PBT, which features Tyla. And then I'm forgetting his name right now, but there's another artist at the end of it where the beat switches up crazy. Vibes Cartel, thank you. And people are hating on that, but I'm like, do y'all just not listen to other genres of music? Because like me personally, I kind of like when there can be collisions like that. But also, you know, I think I'm also in the minority of liking this album just generally. I think there's a lot of hate.
Yeah, we'll speak on
and that goes to the song Shine, which has the very viral wiggly wobbly whoa, which Eric, I mean, you've probably been on TikTok. You definitely seen this. You must have. But
I did see that. That's the one section of the album I could say I've
listened to. And it's like, look, first of all, Glorilla's on that, kills her verse. Second of all, Like everything before these hooks, fire song, fire beat. Third of all, that whole thing is apparently a reference to an artist by the name of Shine from back in the day. I don't know him like that, but I saw a couple clips where he has an old song where he does that same thing, but like a more Caribbean style vibe, like wiggly wobbly, wiggly wobbly, a little slower, not as crazy and Krusty Krab secret formula reveal sounding. And so it's a weird song, but I like weird shit sometimes. So overall though, project as a whole for me, it's like a firm 5.5, I have to say. And like people used to hate on like Huncho Jack Huncho is like some weird throwaway Travis album, but I think that tops this any day.
Easily.
So this is definitely like on the bottom half of the discography. And I pray to God that, they make a Jackboys album with more of the Jackboys, more Don, more Sheck even. I know, Dre, you have thoughts on that, but I like Sheck West when he does his thing sometimes. So Fago I liked on this album as well. He's kind of disappeared off the map, but, it was nice seeing him pop out. And then whatever happened to Luxury Tex? He was on Jackboys 1, had a killer verse, and then, like, never dropped an album. So wherever that dude is, bring him back too.
Yeah, how about not, bro? But yeah, no, go ahead, Eric.
No, I was gonna go into something completely different, related to Jackboys, but I'll let y'all tackle the album. Is that what it is? The album first?
I guess.
I'm sorry. I'm like super out of tune. For any listeners, man, I'm super out of tune with the just like music industry in general. But I'll let y'all finish up because I just have some questions about Jackboys. But continue.
No, fair. I think generally I'm with you on being out of tune. Other than my favorite artist, Don Toliver, I got to tap in for anything related to what he drops, and he's an essential member of the Jackboys. So when I see him promoting this album on his Instagram, I'm like, it's only right. I gotta check it out. I gotta see, especially because there's a specific unreleased Don song he's been performing at his concerts. I'm waiting to drop. Thankfully, it was not on this album. Do not waste your talent on these bums.
Crazy.
Jackboys 2. It's been 6 years since Jackboys, the first Jackboys. Put that in context as well, because I gave the smoke to Cardi for how he was holding up his fans hostage. I'm gonna keep it consistent with my favorite art. Well, only Don, not the rest of them, but my favorite artist as well. 6 years since Jackboys 1, and that was only an EP to start off as well. So that really was meant to be a teaser. Then you guys follow it up. 6 years later, what have y'all been doing, really? I mean, I know Don, you've been dropping some of the greatest albums of all time, but like the other ones, like what have y'all been doing, bro? Really in this time? Travis, you're on the clock, buddy. Fraud Watch is coming. I ain't gonna lie to you. I like Travis. I might sound like I'm a hater. I think Travis of our generation has been one of the most influential artists, one of the most forward-thinking artists of our entire generation, and he dropped some of the coolest albums of the last decade, I guess, as well. But that being said, bro, it's been a minute since you were really that guy. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a minute since you were on top of your game. Maybe you can attribute that to the Astroworld incident to an extent, but I don't put too much stock into that. And in terms of that being on Travis and how much that affected his career, I think musically, Utopia, I ain't gonna lie, bro. The people weren't feeling it the same way as previous albums. Now you're doing this other stuff. Jackboys 2, this is supposed to be your posse. This is your label. These are your guys. Don is trying his best. This dude's like freaking Sisyphus, bro, with the rock. He's trying his best to put this label on his back, and you guys are letting him down. Most of this album is Travis throwaway songs that are terrible. The beats aren't even that good. I appreciate Travis for his beat. The production isn't even up to his usual standard. You got all these Playboy Cardi throwaway beats that sound like trash. You got the dude even coming on yelling on. I know that's a big Houston thing, having the DJ yelling on the track. I don't like that.
Oh yeah, I'm not a fan of that stuff.
I don't like that.
Only with Waka Flocka Flame, that song with him. That was the only time it was acceptable.
But like, bro, if in the middle of a verse, I don't want to hear this dude yelling, bro. This is not the radio. I'm listening to an album on Spotify. I don't want to hear that crap. When DJs do it on the radio, I hate that too. Like, stop yelling over.
Well, that's how I feel about 21 on his verse. Or you can't even call it that. Yeah. It is the hook, and then you just hear 21, Star Gang,
Literally,
It's like,
bro.
what are you contributing? Why? And also, why is your audio louder than the actual like song
Yeah,
underneath
the mixing was
these
terrible
ad-lib?
on that.
The mixing was not there,
The
so
ad-lib.
I'm with you on that.
Check West, bro. I know you're trying to fight them one-hit wonder allegations, bro. You're losing that battle. So Fago, go back, bro. We talking about Blueberry Fago, Lil Mosey, bro. Actually, I that dude may have allegations, so I'm not gonna bring him up. I actually don't know.
Wait, what?
Actually, I'm not tapped in enough. Eric, you might know better.
Yeah, Lil Mosey had allegations years back. Since then, he was found not guilty of the charges, and like, as far as last I checked, he was like trying to make a comeback into the industry. But like I said, I've fallen out of touch with it, so I don't really know what's been going on with him. But yeah, so Fago, different guy. He was like popping during the pandemic. Like, I remember he had, I think, some songs that were like produced by Tekka, or like at least like his big song that like blew up on TikTok. That's the thing. It was like, sorry, but like TikTok rapper is what it's giving at this point.
People been calling him underrated also for like 5 years now.
Yeah, you can only be underrated
like,
for so long, bro. You can only be underrated for so long. Otherwise, you're just unfulfilled potential. Like, you're just not the guy. You never became the guy. I know people were saying that, which is go ahead.
He's also from that like Cardi clone like era. Like, I know people won't talk about like I know now like the big names are like Ken Carson, like Destroy Lonely, like,
trash.
But before those two guys were around, I know Sofago was the one that was kind of making noise. But from that, you know, like he's not on that, as far as I know, like that little like vamp vibe, that demonic vibe. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, you dodged a bullet. With
He's
that
trapped
one,
under Cactus Jack, man.
Yeah, you dodged a bullet with that one, though. I'll give you that. Saw Baby was on this album too. Terrible verse, absolutely terrible. Who else was on this? Glorilla, missed me with that, bro. Who else was on?
Nah, come on.
Yeah,
The Amber Alert line. The Amber Alert line.
The Amber skipped that song line, bro. That dude, that girl was trash, bro. Vibes Cartel. You know, I grew up on some Vibes Cartel. You know, I got a little soft spot for that, but that song, it felt like it was cool. It was cool. I didn't love it.
And that's your girl too.
Yeah, you know, Tyler. But that I ain't gonna lie. That felt like it felt like the song would have been better without Travis, because it's not really his bag. I can appreciate him trying to dip into that bag. It's kind of like what Drake does a lot.
It sounded like his old bag though on like a DJ Khaled album, where he'd be pulled in for features like that. That's what that song reminded me of.
I can see that, but I'm hearing him saying like "pon me" and stuff like that, like little phrases like that. I'm like, Travis, bro, I know y'all won't be saying that in Houston, bro. Like, let's keep it.
He's on the Drake wave now. Yeah, remember?
Exactly.
So is it like reggae? Like,
that song is like got a little of the Afro beat, and then in transit the beat.
There's definitely some Afro beats.
Afro beat, dance hall vibes.
Yeah, then it switches into a dance hall because Vibes' verse has like a different beat, like a slightly different beat. For his verse.
Tempo like doubles or something.
I'm thinking though, isn't it crazy to think that like, because I'm picturing what Travis's fan base is like. This is probably a lot of people's first time hearing about Vibes Cartel, which I think is interesting. But I know he had at least the New York streets in the chokehold back in like the 2010s. I know he did some like jail time, I'm pretty sure, and like he's been recently out, so that's probably why he got added to this album, because there's been, I know, some slight noise about like his jail release. But that's so interesting to me, because it's like I'm again thinking about who the fan base is under Travis, and the fact that like dancehall Afro beats probably not in their arsenal, which I think is, I
don't know though. That's like gotten bigger, like I would say the past 3 years universally. I don't know if it's just because I follow music a bit, but it certainly seems like there's been more influence. So
for sure, like Burna Boy, I know is like probably the biggest name out there, but like Vibes Cartel, that's like an OG, at least OG like to our generation. Like that's an OG in our generation, at least.
I think the timing, because of when he was in jail, makes it. I think he missed that wave, so it is kind of tough. But I think even with that song, it's weird because Travis drives that song. I think kind of back to what you were saying, Alexi. I think it works better if Travis is like a sprinkle on a song like that. When he did the feature on like the Water remix for Tyler, I was like, oh, that's a good fit. Like, that's a good pocket, because Tyler's driving that song. But this one, Travis is the driving force of the song, so it was cool. I wouldn't say I hate that song, but overall, I only really added the songs with Don Toliver on them to my playlist, as probably expected.
What you think though of the new Cactus Jack signing, Wally the Sensei? He performed with Don on that song "Can't Stop."
He was cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I didn't like. He didn't blow me away. It wasn't like it's kind of like when Don came on Can't Say all those years ago, where I was like, oh, this guy blew me away. I was like, whoa. I feel like
Got you.
it wasn't like that kind of passing of the torch moment, but I didn't think he was trash like some of these other guys. Like I actually went to his Spotify page. I didn't listen to anything, but I was like, who's this dude? He had an interesting name too.
I definitely want to check out his stuff and just see more of what he's done.
Yeah, that's an interesting new signing. But yeah, it's been such a long time since Jackboys won, which is like the main thing for me, where like all this time, all this build up, all you guys like working on your craft. Well, I can't say all, because what has half of them been doing, but it's just kind of a letdown in that sense. I gotta rate this like a like a 3, like a 2, 3, 10. Bro.
2 is crazy. 3, I can understand a bit more.
I only say 4 songs out of 17. It's like around 25%, probably a little less than 25%. So 2, 3 is like probably not that it's that black and white when it comes to rating.
I do got to spread hate on one song. That song Florida Flow, that last one.
Oh my
Kodak.
God, bro! I forgot about that. Oh,
that was atrocious. And it's like having an almost 6-minute song like that. It was just terrible.
There's
as
no
an
time
outro track. Like take that off. Just,
artists like Travis and Kodak should be on any song longer than 4 minutes, bro. That's just criminal. It should never happen. Maybe Travis if he's just like croning for like 5 minutes. That's one thing with the auto tune, but Kodak, bro, hell no.
Kodak, it's like you gotta have short bursts. I feel like perfect Kodak song, Brother Stone, Don.
Perfect.
That is one of like the best songs I've heard from the two of them. I think
the utilization is no. I agree. I think it's a perfect back and forth on that song. But Eric, I know you haven't, although you haven't listened to this one, you listened to Jackboys 1 all those years ago, and I don't know if you liked it, didn't like it, but clearly it hasn't been enough to get you interested in Jackboys 2, like that anticipation. So what were your feelings about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's less about like I like Jackboys 1. It was also during a different time in my life. That sounds mad weird to say out loud, but like, long story short, I've been very open, like, just been like kind of off of a lot of music in general, like, and just been, stopped listening to hip hop, or at least like a lot of the hip hop that I used to listen to. Really just like a faith-based decision. That's why I was kind of asking questions about Pusha T's brother, whose name I'm again blanking on, so my fault on that. But yeah. So it wasn't really like the fact that I didn't like Jackboys 1. I think I've just been, like I said, out of tune with the music industry as a whole, and so that's why. But I did like Jackboys 1, and if I could speak on that a little bit, like, I will say it's interesting to see that a lot of the same names are popping back up, like Sheck West, like Don. Obviously, I know he's still around, and trying to think of other people. The first Jackboys was pretty like, there weren't a lot of features. I think the only like non-Jackboys artist that was featured on that album was Pop Smoke, if I remember correctly. So
I think Migos were on it, I think, too. At least Quavo and Offset was on it too, I think.
And did that have the Highest in the Room remix with Rosalia and Lil Baby?
Yes,
that's another combo. Rosalia, Travis, underrated combo. But
yes, it did. That's funny, and that's, if I remember correctly, that was like before Rosalia like really like popped off on her solo career. At least like made it like mainstream. But yeah, Jackboys 1 was great. There's a lot of songs that I can still think back to that I really enjoyed. Like there was Gang Gang with Sheck West. I'm not a big, and I wasn't like big on Sheck West, but I thought that was a good song.
Gang Gang with Don Toliver, you mean, bro? Don carried that song, but continue.
No, he did not.
Sheck West did his thing, and to be fair, there was that one song. It was Fiend on Utopia, which had a Sheck West verse that actually went crazy, but they took it off for some reason on the Spotify version. So like, Let's put some respect there, man. Jackboys can do his
Yeah,
job.
show me the
It's just-
Jackboys album, bro.
Mud boy. I remember that. Like that was like his little.
He's got that song "Spaceship." Is that on My Boy or is that? No, that's on Don's album, I think.
I have no clue. I just remember Mud Boy was like he had a oh nah, this dude was terrible, bro. Like I'm not gonna lie, he had his moments, but like he had a song called Kyrie, and for some reason that was like one of his most popular ones, but it was just him being like balling like I'm Kyrie. Kyrie. I was just like, fam,
Like,
what are we
is that, bro?
doing, man?
What is that?
Yeah, he was really
Wait,
just
he's
like
got a song
alive.
on there called "Danimals."
Like,
No way.
he's a very
That's insane.
unserious artist. Like he's just very unserious, which is cool. But like,
I think, to be fair, from the get-go, I think he was like, "Oh, I want to play," or he tried playing like pro basketball, like in Europe or something, right?
I think it was Africa.
Maybe it was Africa. Yeah,
Africa
somewhere.
Or Europe. Maybe I'm confusing him with J. Cole's attempt to go pro as well. I know
Oh,
J.
yeah.
Cole
Well, that was also a thing.
yeah, that was
Yeah,
also
yeah.
around that time period. And yeah, very, very interesting. And yeah. But yes, I actually liked his verse on Gang Gang, and then there was Gotti. At first I didn't like it, but it grew on me over time, I remember. And then of course, I think the best song on that entire album, and I'll give him his flowers now, but Don Toliver on What to Do. That timeless song, I would say.
oh my
Banger.
god.
Banger.
On
That was-
17, bro. Oh my
That was
God.
good. I'm not gonna lie.
He's
That was
the
really good.
goat. He's the goat, bro. He's the goat.
Yeah.
That was the song that cemented him as
Bro,
like
when he came through, 'cause,
top
like,
three.
Before that, it's like Don's on the rise. We're interested in what he's doing post like Astro World, all that. His Donnie Womack, all that stuff. We're like, okay, what's Don really about? Then on Jackboys, the fact that he was the standout on the album, especially on that song, I was like, okay, this guy's to the moon, bro. It's to the moon. This is great, and he hasn't.
And
stopped
especially with Travis's hype at that time too.
that was peak
with
Travis.
Don,
That's peak Travis, bro. That's peak Travis and Don on
Yeah.
the rise. Like that's foreshadowing for these last however many years.
Word. That's what's up. What did you guys think of that first album though? I know I gave my opinion. I don't know.
Oh,
I know
I
you
hated
did.
how short it was. Like I was like,
Yeah,
because I remember,
album.
you know, they were hyping it up, and it was like, you know, 6, 7 songs maybe. One of them being a remix, and at the time too, it was like similar thoughts with you, Eric, on Gotti. Like I was not a fan. I was like, who's this Pop Smoke guy being like, huh? Like I was just like not with that at the time. But after maybe a few weeks of listening, I came around. To me, it was always an album that represented potential. And if anything, Jackboys 2 has, you know, gotten rid of those hopes of potential for them as a group, which is a shame. But it has a special place because at the end of the day, I do think all those songs are on a playlist of mine, and I still go back to. Which, even if it's a small album, it's impressive that it could be so small and so present in my library.
And I think with that album or EP, whatever, I refuse to call that an album. That thing's tiny. But I only have 3 songs from that album saved. They're Gang Gang, Had Enough, and What to Do. I mean, look and try to guess the common denominator of those 3 songs. But yeah, I think, to be fair though, I do think that, like Alexi said, that time there was a lot of potential in that album with the group. I think at the time too, their sound aligned a lot more. I think that's more when like they're now coming out of the Travis shell and they're more kind of at the same starting point, and then so they can make something more cohesive. I think now, all these years later, they've gone in different directions, some in no direction, but not really. I hate to be hating, but like, what have half of them been doing, bro? Literally, what have they been doing? Like,
No,
literally,
it's true.
like, what have they been doing? So now in 2025, they might have sounds that are, there's still always overlap. Like Don and Travis are always gonna have overlap in their sounds. It's just natural, but they have gone in different directions. Like Don's last few albums have explored different sounds, different subgenres to mix with his sound. Same with Travis and Utopia, but it ended up being super different from his previous stuff. So and now it's some just Cardi crap. So it's like it's not as cohesive as you thought it would have been off of Jackboys 1. If they dropped Jackboys 2 in like 2021 or something like that, like 2 years after the first one, I think it could have been way better. Even though I think Don's a even better artist than he was back then, I think the sound would have made more sense. But now I feel like so much time has passed. It's just kind of, I don't know. Maybe Jackboys 3, if that ever happens in 20 years, it'll be something a little better. But this one was just disappointing.
That's a good point, though, on how back then their signs were more closely aligned. Can't speak. Because, yeah, that Cardi influence on this album, it really is there for a lot of the production and just the sounds, even Travis, the way he tries to rap or sing or whatever. Like, there are a lot of moments where it's reminiscent of that, and I'm like, dude, like you always kind of made your own path in a way, obviously taking influences from other people, but I don't need more of this fiend energy,
bro.
You know,
I was just about to say, I think
we got that song, heard that song,
bro,
as much as we needed to. At the show I went to, bro did it 15 times. Like, I don't need to hear it anymore,
bro. We get, like, don't get me wrong. I think genuinely the root of the issue with Travis, I guess probably with Cardi too, and just with hip hop right now, is because of that Travis album, because it was so divisive, and Fiend was the most like commercially ready song out of that album. It was so much bigger than anything else on that album. It's not the best song in my opinion, but it was so much.
But he probably took that as a sign that
he was like, oh my god, my album is not really that hype right now, but everyone loves this Fiend song. I'm going 100% into this direction. I'm performing Fiend any opportunity I get. I'm taking this to WWE. Like, I'm doing whatever I gotta do with Fiend. And now in 2025, the dude's still riding the Fiend wave, thinking he has to become Playboy Cardi now. You're better than Playboy Cardi. Why are you trying to?
He's always been better than Cardi, and he's even like, just, you know, this dude's Instagram, bro's trying to post the same shit, Rick Owens shit, like all that kind of stuff. And it's interesting too, because his fan base, like, I follow the subreddit and like this shit, and everyone is in general agreement that Utopia is kind of aged like wine. Like, off the rip, it was a little like startling and like different. Weren't sure how to feel about it, but over time, generally, his audience has come around and really appreciated it. And there definitely still is a split of like people who are like Astroworld was his peak, and then people are like Utopia was his peak because of how different it was. I'm more on the side of, you know, I just want more rodeo, but I know that's never gonna happen. So yeah, even Birds in the Trap. But it's sad because those albums were really products of their time, and it just, like, I don't see him as being the same, having the same fire to like innovate in his music and like make his own sound as he once did. I mean, even Utopia, which has that unique sound, I mean, it came out that, like, you know, there were different people, like I think it was Casey who was behind one of his biggest songs, like the sound of it and the melody and the lyrics, and then the production of another song attributed to someone else. And it's fine to collaborate with people in music, but it's also then like, you know, you used to do all this shit yourself. You used to do this production for Kanye. Why can't you bring that back to your music?
Fair. I know we said we were going to spend that long on this album, but
yeah,
it devolved into a whole conversation because I feel like this is just this album is just like a microcosm of hip hop and Travis's career in general. So I think, and you know, Alexi's the biggest Travis fan I know, so I feel like it was inevitable we dive into this conversation. And I'm the biggest Don fan I know, and you know, he's still the GOAT. He went crazy on this album. But if you guys want us to talk more about music, not that we keep up with every album like that, but just about like the state of these artists that like we grew up on or like big in their peak. I think we could do more like about a Travis retrospective or talk about his best albums, things like that.
We need to have discussions around A$AP Rocky, man.
Oh, bro.
He's very close to Fraud Watch.
You're on the clock, buddy. Like, it's time, bro.
We need a sound effect for that, man.
Yeah,
one of those soundboards.
Yeah. But I know there was something else you wanted to mention, Eric, that caught your eye this weekend.
Honestly, it's not that big of a deal. I'll keep it short. Speaking of short, Lamine Yamal's been in the news about bring, bring apparently he like hired like little people to attend his 18th birthday party, which like let's just spend some time on that to begin with, bro. Like 18th birthday party is kind of crazy. He's gotten a lot of backlash over the fact that like from what I heard, it's like the Spanish media kind of got info on like where this was going to be held, and so they came out and they caught the little people arriving at the party and they were just recording them, and so they just like I guess just caught them on video, and
the clip is crazy funny too because the guy like is walking away just waving the camera off.
yeah, and I think he's getting sued by like 2 different like organizations that are basically saying that like yeah, he was using little people just like for his entertainment, and I don't know, just interesting stuff. I think ethically, I understand why one would get sued over such situation, and so I get it, man. Like I understand, but I will say from what I've seen as well, it's very interesting because he's not like the first person to have done this. Obviously, like I think I saw a picture of like Garnacho's birthday where there were also little people in attendance. I'm not trying to throw him under the bus.
No, I believe it. He deserves to be thrown under the bus right now, so I believe it.
Yeah, so just interesting stuff, just things that have been circulating. Don't necessarily think this is like discussion worthy, but just like this is
I do have one comment though. My thing is like, bro, when I turned 18, like I just want to have fun with friends, hang out, maybe go out somewhere for dinner, I don't know, do something wholesome, see a movie. Like I don't see how as an 18-year-old multi-millionaire with generational wealth and some of the best talent in your sport that your head goes to, yeah, I want to see some little people dance at my party. Like how is that just a thing you want? It's just a little bizarre to me.
He also hired other people.
I heard he also he hired some let's say a well-gifted chested women to appear at this party. I believe to be paid like 20,000. I saw.
Damn.
And it's like, bro, again, you are who you are. You don't need to be doing this. This is already what I fear with young talent. I feared this about Garnacho. Yamal, I thought he maybe was better, but this is like the Neymar path, bro.
Oh my god.
Like I hate to see it. I hate to see it. He's got the Messi talent, but that Ronaldo and that Neymar like ego, bro, and it's just getting crazier. And this party, even though it might not be a big deal, even though it's his own party, it's a personification of something. So I'm just a little concerned as a fan who will never reach his levels and whose opinion does not matter really. But
to be fair, I think Neymar, this generation looks up to Neymar a lot. So maybe that's
which is crazy.
Why is it crazy? He's one of the greatest of all time.
And I think talent-wise, like he certainly was great potential.
No,
but
hold on. Okay, we didn't plan this for today, so we're not going to get into it. But
we're not going to get into it.
We're going to have the conversation about Neymar because Neymar, I think, is being too disrespected in this generation, bro.
No, bro. He's not being too disrespected. I agree. Injury record, just desire to play and achieve, not being there. I mean,
we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it because Neymar, I got your back, bro. And I'm biased. Neymar is one of my favorite players of all time, but I'm gonna just try to make that case.
I still like Neymar as a player, but I don't see him in that way because I think a lot of people praise him with these TikTok edits, treating him like he's the GOAT. We know who the GOAT is.
The GOAT, yeah, of course he's not the GOAT. He's definitely not the GOAT. He's not in the GOAT conversation.
And my coworker thinks he's the GOAT, and I'm like, what are you on?
Yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe greatest to watch of all time. I give him that, but I can't seriously put him in a GOAT conversation. But if we're talking about top 10 all time, I think he's very comfortably in that conversation. I think you can make a strong case for Neymar. I think you could also make a case for 10 others in front of him.
But I'm also willing to say in the next 20 years there will be players who get him out of that top 10.
Fair.
That's my personal
Neymar,
belief.
I honestly think maybe this is crazy. I think okay, there's always gonna be players I think who come up and are also in that conversation for sure. I do think as time passes, I think Neymar's career will be looked on even better as time passes because he's in the era. I think in the moment it's too hard to overlook being in the same era as Messi and Ronaldo, whose peaks extended so far that he was never able to become number one. But in any other era, Neymar's winning multiple Ballon d'Ors. Multiple. Like, if Neymar's out there right now, he's better. The Neymar peak is already better than anyone who's playing right now. Like, I don't want to hear nothing about no Mbappe, no nothing. Bro, Neymar was better. Neymar was literally
Not Mbappe in that World Cup final?
Okay. At this point, and I guessed that World Cup final. At this point, that was 3 years ago. Like,
No. We not.
Neymar in 2014 before his injury, he was the best player in that World Cup.
Neymar couldn't score a goal against Mexico in their 2014 group match.
bro. In the knockout stages, he was going crazy before his injury. Oh, bro, we're not gonna disrespect Neymar. Treble winning Neymar, MSN Neymar, PSG put PSG on his back. Neymar when Mbappe was
They didn't win a league. They didn't win a Champions League.
Yeah, because he got injured so much, but he was still so good.
Exactly. That's my point.
But I'm saying that doesn't mean he wasn't good before the World Cup. That season up until the World Cup, Neymar scored like 30 goals before the World Cup. Bro, this dude is going crazy, bro. Neymar is so
in the Farmers League, man.
Neymar. I'm not gonna lie. Neymar's the Brazilian all-time leading goal scorer. They have R9, Ronaldinho, Romario, Pele. Like all these. I could name like 15 Brazilians, and Neymar is the all-time leading scorer of that. Bro, like we're not gonna disrespect him. We're not gonna disrespect him. Neymar is better than anyone playing right now. I'm telling you that right now. Neymar. Maybe Yamal will go on to be better. Maybe Mbappe will go on to be better. Maybe career achievements, but Neymar is better ability-wise than anyone playing right now. I'm telling you that right now, bro. This is just no, bro. Oh my god, we're not disrespecting.
I'm thinking Mbappe over Neymar, but besides that, I think I agree with you.
Mbappe's not top 10 all time. Mbappe's not top 10 all time.
Not yet, but bad man.
They were on the same team, and Neymar was better. Neymar was better. Oh no, I'm not allowed. Okay,
we gotta save this for another day.
We're gonna have the Neymar debate. We're gonna have the Neymar debate.
This is gonna be like a 3-hour episode if we keep doing it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get heated. So we're gonna save this for another day.
Yeah, I already started sweating. This is
for real. So let's move on to our next topic before we get sucked into that.
Or wait, did you have any thoughts on this little people?
Yeah, I haven't seen anything about this personally. Just from what it sounds like, what the hell's going on? But, yeah, just for that alone, bro, Neymar better. We'll come back to that another day.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Well, next thing I did want to talk about, just because it's been some time since we've spoken about sneakers, like for real, and I know Dre, this particular pair, holds a soft spot in your heart. The Aqua 8s, the Jordan Aqua 8s, are set to release on July 19th, which is this upcoming Saturday. And, this is an iconic pair of Jordans. And if we're being honest, probably like the most among one of the most unpopular silhouettes of the Jordan Classics, but still it's a Jordan Classic. So I just want to make sure that that's clarified. But it is a very iconic pair. So this is set to re-release on July 19th. I wanted to know your guys' thoughts. Do you guys have any intentions to cop these? It's a classic sneaker, so I think it deserves to be spoken about.
Nah, which is crazy.
What? You hyped them joints up like crazy.
And I'm still gonna glaze. But it just realistically, I don't have no $250 to spend on a sneaker right now. If I had unlimited cash, 100%. But something
$250 is crazy.
Yeah,
that is
however
insane.
much it is. I just realistically knowing. Well, I don't be even outside that often. Be having a crazy rotation of sneakers, and I have PTSD with my pair that I still have to this day, even though that's never going on my feet again. But I saw them to this day. But maybe down the line, I will retroactively cop them in my actual now official size that hopefully will never change again for the rest of my life. But realistically, some things have popped up recently that I gotta allocate the finances to those instead of these Aqua 8s. But I'm gassed that they are re-releasing though, and I definitely, maybe in a few months, you might hear that I went and copped them, even if it's not for retail. I will go.
The resale probably, I think, will be under retail because I can't imagine the demand is, especially right now, just the sneaker world. Like, you know, pairs are sitting everywhere. So I feel like 8s, especially, which is already kind of a niche pick for people.
I think if it was like my favorite sneaker, my favorite all time was like a 4 or a 3 or something, or a 1 that was like super hyped, I'd be okay, I have to get it that day that is dropping. But I'm not too worried about Aqua 8s. I don't know how many people's favorite sneaker is actually the Aqua 8s. So I'm not too worried about being able to get it in a couple months.
I think it's interesting too. We live in an age where, one, I think we've spoken about how sneaker releases have kind of changed over time, and we do live in a time where it's very easy for you to miss the release date of a sneaker and still have full confidence that you can get your hands on that sneaker in most cases for a reasonable price close to retail, which, you know, we didn't necessarily have back then. So I understand the fact that you're like, not right now, maybe down the line potentially I'll get my hands on them. So I think there's something to be said about that. Last time these came out were in 2015, so it's been 10 years and we live in different times. So I don't blame you on that. It is interesting though, because you have spoken very highly about this pair, but again, 250, pretty steep. The other thing I did want to say is that this is also a sneaker that Jordan wore at the 93 All-Star game, which I think is interesting. Like, we also live in an age where All-Star game sneakers aren't like as hype as they used to be, but you know, I miss those days when I'd be looking out to see, like, okay, like what's LeBron coming out for, like what's he coming out with on All-Star weekend, what's KD rocking on All-Star weekend. Same with like the Christmas sneakers. But this is obviously a different time period from that. This is in the 90s, but this is still an iconic pair, and I too, if I had unlimited funds, I'd definitely get my hands on these. I think the colorway is just so smooth, and I've just never been huge on 8s. I definitely respect them, but just personally, it's a bit, I think, honestly, given the time period that we're living in now, where people are enjoying the bulky sneaker with like shorts or jorts combo, like, this is not a sneaker I'd be surprised to see people rocking. Now, do I again think people are going to spend that much money to rock these? Who knows? I don't think that they will, but an iconic sneaker, and I think it's worth talking about. It's a very, I don't know, it's just I think timeless and pretty versatile if you ask me. And it's unfortunate that maybe it's a little bit of a quieter release this time around, but I think it's still worth talking about. But do you guys have any other thoughts?
I mean, yeah, I actually think, like, just with the trends right now, sneakers are getting slimmer, smaller, almost like ballet shoes, Sambas, like that size of sneaker. And I just don't see, even though I love chunkier shoes as well, I think the only people who are really going to buy these 8s are, you know, as you said, the people into them, the people who like that chunk no matter what. So that's it. That's all. I just think the trend isn't doing it any favors right now.
Yeah, I get that. I will say though, like, if we want to get nostalgic, you know, like, I know when fitteds were like, or snapbacks were really in, like, I can really picture people rocking like some Aqua 8s with like a Diamondbacks fitted or like a Seattle Mariners fitted. Like, there's a part of me that just is always gonna miss those time periods, and I know people still wear fitteds to this day, but it's not like the matchy vibes that we used to get way back in the day. And I think it's just worth mentioning, man. It's such a nostalgic look, and I kind of miss that era of fashion from time to time. You had the fitted with some cargo pants and then some Aqua 8s or something like that. So, you know, won't be seeing that a whole lot. with this.
Hey man,
upcoming
you gotta
release.
wear what you want to wear, man. What feels
course,
good to
of course.
you.
Yeah,
You know,
fitted.
don't let the times just be in your head, man. You can always bring those back. You know, some days, as much as I hate skinny jeans, you know, some skinny jeans with some ultra boosts and a hoodie, you know, that had its time, but sometimes there's a craving there. So I get you.
Word. Yeah. Nah, I enjoy fitteds, but I don't know. It's they can sometimes look a little weird on me if it's like I typically wear glasses. So it's a little bit of a tough wear, but you know, like I said, I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. But cool, man. Anything else on these 8s?
Nah, my head's too big for fitters, man. I know it's not the only age, but unless you know, my site that I referenced maybe 2 weeks ago, I ain't gonna give them more free promo. But with those big hats, maybe if I get a fitted from them, then that's a different discussion. But as of right now, I'm not wearing any standard like new era fitted or anything like that. Hell no. But yeah, shout out Aqua 8s. Let us know if you are copping, if you are planning to cop, I should say. I think they come out, like you said, in a few days after this will release. So it's a hype time to see. 10 years is crazy though, that since the last came out. But hopefully it doesn't take another 10 years anyway. But that's exciting. That's definitely exciting.
Absolutely. Cool, man. Well, Dre, I think I'll give you the floor for this next topic, man. I know you've been talking, and you know, your team walked the walk as well. So let's hear it.
It feels weird introing the segment. Like I feel like I'm too gassed to give this a proper intro. But you gave the floor, so I guess I'll have to take it away, man. It'd be rude not to. The Club World Cup final. Chelsea, PSG. Before this tournament even got really underway, we talked on this podcast, and I said the words, this tournament, if Chelsea win it, it's not Mickey Mouse. If anyone else wins it, it's Mickey Mouse. And guess what, baby? Guess what? We ain't going to Disney today. We are not LeBron. We are not Anthony Davis in the bubble. We are not. Who was Mickey Mouse the other day that I said was Mickey Mouse? I can't even remember, but either way. Champions of the world, baby. Champions of the world. 3-0. 3-0. The best team in Europe, the best team in the world. PSG. Everyone before the game was glazing. I was glazing. I said we had no chance. Everyone was like, Chelsea, hopefully they give them a good game. Hopefully they at least do better than Real Madrid, who just got spanked. Inter Milan spanked. Everyone else spanked. PSG weren't even conceding goals this tournament, other than the game they lost to Botafogo. Other than that, they were not even conceding goals this tournament. So everyone was like, Chelsea, maybe they can keep it to 3-0, maybe a little 3-1 or something. But guess what? Champions of the world. On our kit for the next 4 years, we're going to have a nice little, I don't know where it's going to be. Maybe on the sleeve, maybe right here near the badge. It's going to say champions of the world champions for the next 4 years. No one can take that away from us. And guess what else? We are the only club to have completed the set. In club football, we have won every trophy there is to win out there in club football. No other club can say that to us other than maybe some Brazilian club or something. But in terms of, this is the new Club World Cup, a new format. We're the first ones to win this. We got that nice new trophy with the little keyhole in the middle, and bro, that trophy is sexy, bro. And we won it.
Nah, man.
We have won. Once we won the Conference League, we were already saying completed the set because we never competed in the Club World Cup of this new version. Now we got in here and we won this first time too. We've completed the set, bro.
You got a new signing too, bro. The Cheeto Man.
We're gonna get to that.
I was gonna say.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. You're not gonna stop my rant. You're not gonna stop my rant. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. So yes, we have won every trophy there is to win as a club. No one else has done that. So we are technically the greatest club of all time, but we'll keep that moving. Arteta, You're a fraud. Maresca has won the same amount of trophies as you in 1 year. It's like your 6th or 7th year
That's
in the
true.
Arsenal project, bro. You're a bum. It's just simple, bro. Maresca, a tactical mastermind, bro. Oh my gosh, what else? What else is there to say? Enrique, bro, this dude was so rattled he thought it was UFC, bro. Dana White wasn't even there. That was Trump, not Dana. You got baited, bro. He started scrapping with João Pedro after the game. What was that, bro? You got rattled. PSG all year, they're spanking every team. They want to go, they're humble winners. Yes, we did what we had to do. Oh my god, we were so good. The one time they start to lose, all of a sudden tackles flying in, red cards. They looked so petulant to end that game, bro. That was embarrassing. And guess who made them do that? Chelsea FC. Real Madrid after the game congratulating us. So congratulations, FC came back and they said, Chelsea, congrats on the freaking Club World Cup, bro. What else? Palmer, big game player, still a big game player, but everyone was saying before this game, Palmer, he can't score from open play. Everyone's gassing him. Did y'all forget this dude came on in a Euros final and scored for England when England looked like trash, bro? They should have started that dude from the beginning. In finals, he is clinical. I think he has 8 goals and assists in 6 finals. What the hell, bro? Stop doubting Palmer. Caicedo, one of the best defensive midfielders in the world. Stop doubting him. Keep going to say 100 mil. He's not worth that. He's not worth that. On the biggest stages, now I think people just don't watch Chelsea week to week. Now you're seeing this dude just dominated the best midfield in the world. Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz, who's the other dude? João Neves. They had nothing to do, bro. Caicedo was on all their cheeks. And then when he wanted to man mark Doué, he's doing that too. Man mark Dembele, he's doing that too, bro. He's worth every penny because every week he's playing next to someone else, playing next to Reece James in the final. The week before that, he's playing next to Andre Santos. Then he's playing next to Lavia. He might be playing next to Enzo. He's like, bro, no matter who it is, this dude is dominant. I could keep going, honestly, but I know you guys wanted to talk about Trump, so we could talk about Trump. But basically, all I have to say is champions of the world. We literally are the champions. Like, there's going to be the World Cup next year. That's going to be the international champions of the world. And we are the club champions of the world. Champions League? Who cares about that, bro? That's champions of Europe. This is another level. PSG champions of Europe. We're champions of the world. And we beat the champions of Europe to become the champions of the world. If you guys thought I was insufferable before, oh my god, the next 4 years I'm going to be on every club's cheeks, bro. Man United, you ain't completed a lot. Barcelona, you ain't completed a lot. Was it Real Madrid? You have not completed a lot. Arsenal, you haven't even won a European trophy. We don't care about you, bro. Spurs, you got your little Europa League. You haven't completed a lot, bro. You haven't even won a Prem in however long, bro. We don't care about you. Who else? Man City, you have not completed the lot, bro. You're fraudulent. We got the better bald manager. Bro, I could keep going. I'll let you guys jump in. Let's talk about it.
Hey, man. First of all, I got to applaud the amount of mental gymnastics you had to do to come to this is crazy. I got to respect the commitment, though. I got to. If it was Man United up there, I'd probably be doing the same thing. Yeah, to be honest, I don't have much to say about this game because Chelsea just absolutely dominated. That PSG showing was embarrassing. It was awful. Everyone who were hyping up after that Champions League final, I have no words of kindness for them right now, so I'm not going to say much. Dembele, I mean, we were talking about Ballon d'Or. We were having Ballon d'Or conversations. I don't put much in the Club World Cup, but like, bro was a ghost. Bro was a ghost.
You got strapped
absolutely locked up. That was ridiculous. Doué, doo-doo, bro. Did nothing. Like, I can't say anything. I can't say anything. I was bored watching that game. Like, I was entertained by Chelsea and the goals they scored early on. That kept me awake. But everything after that, I was like, what are these decisions? What happened? It's only been like a month and a half, 2 months, something like that. And this is the downgrade? This is crazy.
No. Oh, I'll let you continue before I get.
You know what? Maybe it's less of a downgrade and more of Chelsea doing their job well and doing it right. I am maybe just surprised by the fact that PSG didn't have a response to that. Couldn't muster anything up. And yeah, just I will say, I absolutely hate that the U.S. is hosting this tournament and the World Cup. We got to deal with fucking 1984 propaganda at halftime. I saw a clip of like there was a DAZN interview, I guess, maybe after the game or halftime. I'm not too sure with Trump, and it's like it's just a propaganda machine, bro. And even the reporter was glazing this dude, being like, "Well, maybe I can come to the Oval Office to see your version of the trophy." It's like, bro, come on, get your ass back to Fox News. What are you doing here? So that shit pissed me off. Him being on the stage pissed me the fuck off.
Ruined it, bro.
Also, another thing, for every American broadcast of this sport of football, I am sick and tired of hearing your American commentators. Get them out of here, bro. They keep talking like this shit is the NFL. I don't want to hear that. Oh, there he is on the corner going in for the goal. And there's the header. Like, it is so annoying. Talk about the fucking end zone. I don't want to hear you talking about hitting the post, hitting the corners, hitting the pens. I don't want to hear any of it. You are annoying. Shut up. Less specific to the Club World Cup, but that just stands. So, I'm happy the sport is growing here, but my God. And the fact we're doing ads mid-game too during this whole tournament, absolutely disgraceful, shambolic. Fuck that shit. So, congrats to Chelsea though.
You're lucky. I was about to go crazy on you, but that was a nice little bow on top. Any thoughts, Eric, before I spaz again?
Well, in regards to the commentary, man, just learn Spanish, bro. You don't ever got to switch sides, man. You just get the Univision broadcast, man. That's what you got to stick with. But as far as the match itself, actually, yeah, I'll give my opinions on the match itself. It was a fun watch, man. I know the scoreboard will say 3-0. I think that's like, yes, PSG didn't come and didn't show out, but like just the energy that I felt from Chelsea in that first half, especially, like I was very like excited just watching the whole thing. There was that I believe it was an offsides goal at the very beginning, right? No, it wasn't an offsides goal. It was like he just like missed a wide open shot, but to everybody it looked like that had gone in, and I can't remember who exactly had missed that, but Palmer. You saw the energy straight. Yeah, it Palmer? Was it Palmer? And then he comes back and scores two goals that were pretty much identical. And what I can respect about Palmer is that he's not like, may not be like the flashy type of guy, but like he gets the job done, and he really showed out. And I don't know, it's just super clinical finishes. Nothing like that's gonna, like if you ask me a year from now what did those goals look like, I probably wouldn't be able to tell you, because they were very, very clinical, very, I guess you could say, like, I don't want to say unspectacular, because then that makes me sound like I'm not like giving him his props, but it's not the flashy type of thing that you're gonna see years from now, but you got the job done, and you were scoring in open space, making the right runs, I guess. Composure is a big one. Yeah. So I was happy to see that. I can definitely see the energy there. And yeah, man, I mean, I will say, just from a broader perspective, this is the first, well, not the first, but we have again now seen in full what a huge FIFA tournament looks like when it's being held in the United States. I think the Copa America was a nightmare, if I'm being honest. Like, if you don't remember, like last year they had those like security issues. We didn't see any of that. So I will say props, I guess, to MetLife about that. But listen, now the only thing that stands ahead is the World Cup, and I guess we'll see what happens there. But it's interesting to see that this country has now seen huge FIFA tournaments, and they've been, aside from that little segment we had last week, looks like they've had very successful showouts from the American public. So we'll see how that translates into next summer. But yes, congratulations to Chelsea. And my question as I close this take off is, what are your thoughts knowing that Trump has the OG trophy in the Oval Office?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on, bro. What is this? Why is that happening? Like, I don't know if this is like standard procedure for tournaments. I don't know what if like it's host countries usually have that kind of right over trophies. Yeah,
Can
go
I
ahead.
give some insight?
Yeah.
So that trophy is made by Tiffany and Co. And I worked there, and they actually have their own versions of all the trophies they already make, like NBA, NFL. Like they have that in their office, just like on the top floor, like, you know, where all the higher up people go. So they make like personal versions of these trophies for themselves. And I imagine them knowing Trump and him liking gifts and FIFA knowing that and loving bribery as well. We're like, hey, let's slide this man his own version of the trophy to make him feel good and, you know, move on with our day. So I think it's as simple as that. It's a way of kissing ass.
Sounds about right. Yeah, but yeah, that whole thing, the whole trophy lift, bro, just ruined the vibes. Everyone was looking at him like, bro, what's going on? Palmer, like, get up out of here, buddy. Like, Reece James was hitting like the stutter step on the trophy lift. He was like, is this dude gonna walk off the podium, or like, what's going on? He's just killing the vibes. They're just awkward.
Sanchez was too excited having him up there. I don't know if you noticed.
And that's exactly why you're out of here.
Yeah. If Trump heard his last name, he'd be like, hold on a second. What are you doing here?
Let me hear how good your English actually is. But yeah, he was a little too gas for my liking. But speaking of Robert Sanchez, and speaking to the game in general, that man was playing for his career at Chelsea. This entire season, everyone's like Robert Sanchez, me included, and I still believe, get this dude out of here, bro. He is terrible. But yesterday, he showed up, had his best performance in a Chelsea shirt, and despite how dominant we were, PSG is so good a team, they still had chances. They still had really good shots on goal, and Robert Sanchez came up big in those moments, and I have to give him his credit for that, because generally, he is shaky, very shaky on the line. But yesterday, he went crazy. I got to give him that. And hopefully that just means he raised his value a little bit and we can ship him up out of here and we go get a better keeper, because I do not want him starting for Chelsea next season. But speaking to the game in general, I do think that people are going to say, oh, PSG was terrible. That's why Chelsea won, whatever. I'll tell you straight. I'll tell you to you straight. Enzo Maresca outclassed Luis Enrique yesterday. That was a coaching masterclass. If you watch Chelsea week to week, we play differently every week. We specifically line up for the team we're facing, and you can't say that for every team. And there's pros and cons to that. Like, not having a typical structure is also a weakness to certain teams. Like, all the best teams usually have like their go-to thing that they do, but Enzo has decided to go with, okay, but depending on the team, because we have such a deep squad, we can line up differently every week. We don't play the same starting 11 every week. You know, we probably do have the best, but we just switch it up. And for PSG, we beat PSG at their own game. PSG is known for having the best fullbacks in the world who bomb forward and catch us out, press high. We outpress them in their back line, because you could say teams didn't care about the Club World Cup. It's not that big. That was the same starting 11 from the Champions League final, other than Pacho, who got sent off in the previous game, so they had to start Beraldo and that center back. Other than him, that's the same starting 11 from the Champions League final. So clearly PSG wanted to win it, and we outplayed them. We had Gusto. There's a lot of questions about Gusto coming into this season, because last year was not a great season. The season before, he was amazing under Poch. He didn't find his role under Maresca, really. And yesterday, Maresca put him back to what he does best, bombing down the wing, overlapping, basically running that entire right wing. And you would have thought Nuno Mendes for PSG, that's what he does. Gusto outplayed him completely. Every time you see Robert Sanchez, I'll give him his credit too, the long balls over the top, Gusto is gone. And he's so fast and has so much stamina. He's up and down the wing. And he's creating a lot of those chances just through his movement. Hakimi, you would think on the other side he had that locked up. We're doubling. Pedro Neto, we played him on the left wing. Sometimes we play him on the right, sometimes we play him on the left. Yesterday we played him on the left because he does so much defensive work. And we know Hakimi is going to be bombing down the right wing. So Pedro Neto is tracking back, covering Hakimi. Him and Cucurella are both on him, or Cucurella will be on Doué, and then you have Caicedo dropping and covering Hakimi with Pedro Neto. It's just tactically, it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. Palmer starting on the right. Usually, we like him in the center, but he had some amazing year on the right under Poch. So he's starting on the right. When Gusto bombs down the right, Palmer drifts into the center. Then you see him in the top of the box in those areas. And he was wide open half that time when people would come after him, because we have João Pedro up top, who's not a traditional 9. So he can make that space for Palmer, be able to play more up front centrally. Enzo Fernandez drifts off more toward the left when Neto's a little higher on the wing. It's just everything about the team. Reece James playing in DM, he's traditionally a right back. Enzo has made him more of a hybrid. You can play a defensive midfielder, not just right back. And sometimes we play Caicedo out of right back. Yesterday we had Gusto there. It's just so much flexibility. And like you said about Palmer, I think the reason why he gets the nickname Cold Palmer is because under pressure, that composure to score, like the penalty run he went on 2 years ago. But really, you see it in those 2 goals that he scored. Donnarumma is a massive keeper. Like, this dude is like 6'6" or something. If you shoot high, or even like mid-level to high, this dude has a way better chance of getting to it just because that reach is so crazy. Palmer, I think the biggest thing underrated about Palmer is his IQ, because he's not the most athletic player ever. He's not the fastest. He's not the most agile, the most skills, whatever. But in those quick moments, his decision making is amazing. He recognizes, if I shoot low, it's way harder for a guy 6'6" to get down to the ground and reach out for that, versus like jumping and reach out with his arm. And that's why he said, okay, first time, perfect, it went that way, I'm running it back. That's the real cool Palmer, like in those moments. So he was amazing. I already talked about Caicedo. Because Rodri was out last year, you could argue he was the best DM in Europe, but we're gonna have that conversation. Gusto, I talked about him. Reece James, he got injured maybe toward the very, very end of the game. Couldn't last the entire game, but I like him at DM because he doesn't have to do as much running, and we know his legs are cooked because he's injured all the time. So I kind of like him in that space. Doesn't have to cover as much ground, so hopefully we can keep him fit for longer. Enzo Fernandez, everyone doubted him after he went crazy with Argentina at the World Cup. He cost 100 mil. Everyone's like, this dude's not worth it. He had his rough patches, but you can see now he
really rough patch on that bus. Let's not forget about that.
Not wrong, but he's still our second captain, which is crazy.
That's
just
insane.
Crazy. And he's captained a lot because Reece James has been injured so much. He's captained a lot. But yeah, we're not gonna. That in itself is crazy. But he has become a vital part of this team. Like, he's really shaped his changed his game. Now he can play more forward if you want to push Palmer out wide. Now you can drop deep. He can play next to Caicedo if you want to have Palmer, Neto, and like Nkunku in front of him or something like that. We've really transformed over the last, I think, few months to be able to be a team that's really like a Swiss Army knife. And I'm not saying we're the best team in Europe. Obviously, I went crazy on this rant earlier. I'm not expecting us to win the league. I'm not expecting us to win the Champions League. But I do think now we're a team that can give any of those top teams a real game. And I think we're back in terms of we're now Chelsea FC, who's competing for these top spots again, versus like now every game we're expecting us to go in and lose against all these big teams. Now they actually have to look out for us and game plan. I think now it's hard to game plan because Maresca can come out in any setup that you might think of. So in that sense, I think that was really a tactical masterclass. I got to give him his credit. A lot of people doubted Maresca, me included. He didn't have the craziest resume before coming to Chelsea, but he went crazy. João Pedro, I didn't even speak on him. He scored a beautiful little lofted chip over Donnarumma, the third goal. His movement is amazing. You would think him and Palmer have been playing together as long as Palmer and Jackson have been playing together. Their chemistry is already amazing. And João Pedro was on the beach when we signed him, bro. This dude was just chilling on vacation. He came back, he trained with us for like a week, and all of a sudden he's starting for Chelsea, looking better than Jackson and Delap, which is crazy in itself. What else? What last thing? I think looking forward, going into the next season though, we still do have some signings to make, and we'll get into that in a second. We'll talk about some the transfer window. We have brought in some dudes, but I do think we're not perfect. No team's perfect, but I can say we're better than Bayern. We're better than Madrid because y'all just got spanked by PSG and we spanked them. Y'all thought I was done like Glazer, bro? I'm not done for the next 4 years, bro. We're gonna have the patch on our kit. Where's my kit, bro? We're gonna have
It's an ugly patch, bro. Come on. It's an ugly patch, though.
What does it read? World champions. World champions. We're gonna have that sexy pad on the kit that says world champions, and no one else is gonna have that for the next 4 years. Dembele, you're a fraud, bro. You're not getting no Ballon d'Or. You probably still are, but now you let Lamine back into the conversation. PSG, like I said, we didn't talk about this, but at the end of the game, embarrassing head loss. They looked so petulant. You would not think those were the champions of Europe, bro. They should have had almost 2 red cards at the end of that game, bro. It was ridiculous. And
That was a Madrid response.
Really,
Emotionally.
they learned from Madrid, bro, for that one. And last thing I got to say, I said this. You might remember after the Champions League final, I mentioned one thing. I said, you know who's the biggest loser in this final? Kylian Mbappe. You know who's the biggest winner from the Club World Cup final? Kylian Mbappe. I know that dude was the biggest Chelsea fan yesterday. He was gassed. He might congratulate PSG after the Champions League final, but you know he was crying, tears on his phone. And yesterday, I know he was gassed because if PSG won that, they have won everything there is to win last season. Now, after getting spanked, he can at least say, okay, at least PSG didn't win that one, bro. So Mbappe, you're welcome. You're welcome. But we're still champions of the world and you're not. And Neymar's better than you all time, but we'll get into that.
Oh my God.
Any last thoughts though on the Club World Cup?
Man, you covered it all, man. You covered it all. I gotta give props again. Chelsea really did their thing. You know, it's crazy. This is a team who not too long ago was in Man United's position in some ways.
For real. For real.
And so the transformation, you know, you're seeing it more and more. And Maresca's doing his thing, you know. He's a baldy. He could do his thing without 115 charges. Gotta respect it.
That's the key, bro. That's the key. At least not yet. We'll see.
Yeah, to be fair, with Chelsea stacking their squad the way they do,
but we sell well. That's the key. Like unlike Man United, we can actually sell these players who aren't on the craziest wages because we have them on like 10-year contracts. So,
well, maybe that's a good transition then.
For sure.
About selling well. I'm not sure if you want to lead this since this is your team.
Okay, I can jump into it. The transfer window, you know, it's been a bit of a slow one to start. You know, Club World Cup, I think teams are a bit tentative to sell while the Club World Cup is happening. But I think now we're starting to see some big moves being made by certain clubs. Certain clubs kind of just sitting there doing nothing, but we'll get to them. But I think to start off, we'll start on Chelsea because we just spoke about them. And you saw one of our signings in the Club World Cup make a big impact. João Pedro, we brought in for around 60 million, and he immediate impact. I was going to say, most of these are going to say trying to predict how they're going to do, but you can already see he's probably going to be our starting striker going into next year, which is crazy because Nicholas Jackson within a month has gone from first to third string striker, which is just crazy. But
and can we talk about Liam Delap?
Liam Delap, 30 million.
That was a big signing, and was that worth it at this point? I mean, I know it's too early to really say, but based off of that game, I was almost like, what's the point of having this dude here?
Here's the thing with Delap, which is I think is different from Jackson. I think, well, Jackson was also like a pretty cheap signing the year before, but I think Jackson, there are still teams out there right now that I think will take a chance on Jackson. Because there are raw things to Jackson's game that I think are still good. And to be fair, all three of these strikers are very different in their play styles. I think that's the other thing when I talk about Enzo Maresca being very tactically flexible. I think for lining up against specific teams, he might be like, okay, this week I want Delap's physicality, he's running and behind, that kind of gameplay. Or this week I might want Pedro's technicality and his playing off a Palmer, that kind of thing. I think there's room for both Pedro and Delap in our squad. I think Jackson's the one who he already, not in terms of the Club World Cup, he already got sent off, whatever. But I think starting next season, he's also suspended because he got a red card in the last game of the season. So, or I think it was second to last game of the season, something like that. So I think he really put himself in the worst position now to start. I think we have room for Delap and Pedro, but Jackson I'm worried about in that sense. But I wouldn't mind selling him. You know, there's a club that always wants to take our players, Arsenal. So you can have Jackson too. You can have Jackson too. But another player we signed during the Club World Cup, Gittins from Dortmund for around 65 million. He's a left winger, pure dribbler, like some of the best dribble stats in Europe. Likes to hug the touchline, beat defenders. I wish we could have seen him during the Club World Cup come play for us, but I think now we have so much depth up front. Now we have Gittins on the left. Pedro can play. Pedro Neto can play on the left. Even João Pedro can play on the left. To be honest, we have the next signing, Esteval, the young Brazilian kid, for about 35 million, who we played against in the Club World Cup for Palmeiras. He's coming in on the right. We still have Nkunku who can play on either side. Although I hope we sell him. Palmer can play central or out to the right. And there's another guy we're taking a look at because Arsenal, like I just said, they're always sniffing around our players. You know, the Chelsea ownership group has 4 clubs in it. Chelsea, Strasbourg out in France. That's like our B team. You know, we loan players out to them, and then we see like Andre Santos went out there. He played well. Now we brought him back. He's part of the team. Brighton, that's our feeder club. You know, we buy from Brighton. You know, we got Caicedo, Cucurella, Robert Sanchez. You know, they scammed us with that one. A few other players we keep buying from Brighton. Colwell went on loan at Brighton. And then we have our club we sell to when we're done with the players and we realize they're washed. And that's Arsenal. Arsenal come in, they'll take David Luiz, they'll take Jorginho, they'll take Havertz, they'll take who else? We sell to Arsenal. Sterling we send on loan to Arsenal. Because any player we're like, we're kind of done with this guy. Arsenal. Petr Cech, toward the end of his career, went to go play for Arsenal. So we have 4 clubs in our ownership group, bro. And Arsenal, they're our, you know, ship them off club. And right now, they're looking at Noni Madueke for kind of I think they're looking to spend like around 60 mil for him, which is crazy, 50, 60 mil. And which is crazy because everyone this season is talking about Arsenal needs to get Rodrigo. And if they go and buy Madueke, I know people think they're going to buy Rodrigo too. But if we get 50, 60 mil from Madueke, we're flipping that and we're going to get Rodrigo. There are a lot of rumors out there. Chelsea are very interested in Rodrigo if we make the Madueke sell. I'm very interested in Rodrigo. We have a lot of wingers, but I think if Rodrigo comes in, he's an immediate starter. And we go from, you know, maybe a top 4 race to maybe a sneaky title race. You know, I wouldn't say we're favored.
Dude, Rodrigo has that impact though.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, he can do that. And it's kind of scary though how he's also been linked, you know, like you said, to Arsenal, even to Liverpool, I've heard. Like, these are just some scary combinations. You know, as a United fan, a broke-ass United fan, bro, I'm just disappointed that it's happening now because I would love to see him in our kit. But
that'd been crazy.
He's probably not a man of charity at the moment.
Yeah, well, let's transition that to United. Actually, the last time we talked about the transfer window, we talked about you guys signed Matheus Cunha. You know, good signing, fits the system well. And I think even back then, that may be like a month ago at this point, we said, United are looking at Brian Mbeumo to bring in, and a month later, where is he? Where is he? Are you guys haggling
let me
over?
explain.
Yeah, what's going on,
explain.
Bro?
Our ownership is certainly haggling. A lot of that due to the shambolic management of Ed Woodward in the past, where that dude would throw money at anything to get any deal done. I mean, you look at previous signings like a Sancho, Anthony, it's like there was just poor decision making all the time. And so I think ever since Ineos has come in with this stake in ownership, they've been trying to cut costs across the board, which has been horrible for some of the staff at Man United, as we've seen like mass firings or like not being invited to like a final, like the Europa League final. And we're seeing it now in the transfer window as well, where we're literally haggling over like maybe 5 to 10 million. And it just means that much for the club and its finances right now. So there's that portion of it. And then also the portion of we can't sell nobody either. You know, clubs love to talk about our players, but they will always refuse to put the money where their mouth is. Like freedom fighter Sancho, man. Dortmund, they could never do it. They're always talking about that dude, but every time they got to put some money down, they won't do it. Same thing now going for, I believe it was Napoli's president talking about Garnacho being like, oh, he needs to get out of Man United's environment. He's a fantastic player. He'd be blah, 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 blah. Put the money down. Put the money down. Stop talking, put the money down. Then you can talk. It is ridiculous. Rashford, he's preying on that Barca move. Good luck, buddy. That's all I can say. I don't know why Barca picked you right now, but hey, there may be something there. So we're really just in a stalemate of needing money, and I mean, all we can do is haggle. And the fact we're doing it over in Buemo too, it's like, it's crazy because I'm thinking just optics wise, like down like the next year or two for transfers, like we're gonna have this persona now of what we're gonna haggle over any player, and like what big player is really gonna want to come to a club where they gotta talk about like their salaries or take cuts there. Like they have to really care about the club, which that should be, you know, the number one thing. But it does hurt us too when you also got an Arsenal or a Chelsea that you can say, oh, I care about the club and they're going to pay me double, or they're going to give me a crazy salary. So United is just in a terrible transfer position. I've seen rumors also of potentially a Jamie Vardy or Calvert-Lewin. It's like, bro, what are we doing? Jamie Vardy, like, I love that player, you know, for what he's done, what he represents, but a waste of money. What are we doing? So, yeah, it's safe to say Man United's transfer window is not going spectacularly. I just know Ruben Amorim is fuming, and is probably really going to need to pray the first half of this season and hope they could get some money in or do well enough in the league to where maybe some winter transfers can come through.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest. Yeah, when I heard that Calvert-Lewin link, bro, I was dying, bro. Like you guys went from all these top strikers everyone's looking for, like Seshko, Gyökeres, Osimhen, all these top strikers, and Man United,
Osimhen's choosing like Galatasaray instead, bro.
Embarrassing, bro.
That's embarrassing.
Embarrassing, bro. You guys are getting stuck with Calvert-Lewin, who can't even put together 5 games because he gets injured so often. Like that dude, his career is falling off crazy. But yeah, I'd be very interested to see who Man United are actually able to buy. I'll be very surprised if the Bremo deal doesn't end up happening, but still, the fact that it's taken this long,
it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Yeah. It's just
Amorim wanted him before preseason started. This is the main thing, and now preseason started I think last week or something like that. So it's a bit rough there. That's the main thing, like you mentioned, these wages. You just can't sell these players. These other leagues can't afford these Premier League wages that you have these guys on, unless you're the best team in that league, like Bayern.
And they don't want to take a pay cut, which is crazy too. Which it's easy to say sitting in our chairs, but it's like, bro, you're not going to take $100K a week. You're getting paid $200K a week. Like at that point, how crazy of a difference is it for your lifestyle?
I think that comes back to the relationship with the club. I think so many of these players now have sour relationships with United that they're willing to run down the contract and leave on a free and just get the wages until then, rather than taking a cut to go somewhere else now. Which is crazy. Like you'd think someone of Garnacho's age or something would like want to go and play every week somewhere else, but I think these players like, screw it, bro. Like y'all trying to get rid of us. Dude. Screw that dude. Yeah, that's that whole.
I gotta sell my jersey, bro. I'm tight.
You have a Garnacho jersey?
I meant to like. I was choosing between Ahmad and Garnacho, and but the
no, that's a crazy fumble.
It's crazy because I chose it right before, like it was like during Christmas time, and like right after that was when like they were talking about like his brother leaking shit to the media and just sour shit. I'm just like, man, what the hell?
That's That's crazy.
Yeah.
But just some other quick transfers to run through. We won't talk about all of them. Stop me if there's a big one you think we should at least note. Liverpool. We talked about Verse however many weeks ago. This has officially been signed now. 125 million. It's crazy, but he's meant to be that big of a game changer for them. So we'll see how that goes. Kirkez for 45 million from Bournemouth. Also, rest in peace, Diogo Jota. I don't think we spoke about that last week, but I'm sure that's gonna play a factor in Liverpool's season for sure. I think they're gonna have tributes and stuff for him early season. So I don't want to judge their transfer window too harshly because obviously that throws a wrench in the works and that's bigger than football. But those are some massive signings for them at least. Arsenal, Zubamendi, that one they were going back and forth for a while. Dude was trying to get a move to Madrid or something, but finally got that one in for 70 million. Norgard from I think Brentford, he went there for 11 million. Solid little defensive midfielder, nothing crazy. Kepa from Chelsea, there's another one, a little backup keeper for them. I think Kepa's a good signing though in terms of just playing the cups or something. That's something crazy. But the big one they've been going after for a while. It was him or Seshko, and finally. I don't think it's technically official, but they have said the agreements have been signed. So any day now, I think the medical, whatever.
Here we go. It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. A little, Italian. Victor Gyökeres from Sporting has pretty much officially signed for Arsenal for around 75 million. That's the big one. If things go how people think they're gonna go, he scored like freaking 500 goals last season for Sporting, going crazy in that league. People say he's a penalty merchant. People say he only really scores against the weak teams. I don't know. I don't watch the Portuguese league, so I can't comment on him too heavily. But he did look good in the Champions League when I saw him. Yeah, go ahead.
I will say one thing. Two things, actually. One, I want to draw attention to how he has acted during this transfer window. Because I think that's something maybe we don't talk about enough when talking about players. And how, just to give some context, he had a bit of a gentleman's agreement with the Sporting leadership where, because he did so well this season, they would agree to let him go. This is the season, this is the time for him. And they had established, I think, around 60 million was the asking price for that. But then with all the hype and talks of Arsenal, that number went up to 70, 75 million. And he was just like, oh, I'm going to sit out. I'm not going to practice. I'm not going to play for y'all. I'm not going to do anything. And me personally, seeing that from a player, I can understand being upset when an agreement like that is maybe broken. But it's also like when you're signed to a club and a team, it's individual actions like that, which I think matter and also showcase a bit about you. And it makes me wonder, how much of a fit is he going to be for Arsenal, just personality wise? And if that there can be a concern there, because maybe it's just because I've recently gone through seeing this stuff with Garnacho, where now I'm hyper attentive to it. So seeing that kind of way of acting with Gyökeres again, someone who is in the Portuguese league, supposedly scored a bunch of pens, and now it's with this Arsenal team, I don't know if he's gonna live up to it, live up to that hype. I'm glad United didn't chase him, honestly, at the end of the day, especially for that price, and especially seeing how he's acted. It's I don't want that in my club. If you're an Arsenal fan, good for you, but I'd be a little concerned if I was one.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that's a good point. I do think you could go either way. I know people will go the player empowerment route, and that, for him as well. The only thing for me is I can see, if I were a player and say training started, I would maybe. The thing in the back of my mind would be injury. I think that could throw a wrench in the entire works if you start training with the team, say something happens, and Arsenal screw that, bro. I'm gonna go buy Seshko. Then maybe that's the whole situation. But I do see where you're coming from in terms of just character. I think there's I don't know. Arteta seems to actually. I think with Gyökeres, this is actually more of a like Arsenal sporting director really wants Gyökeres. I think Arteta wanted Seshko really badly. So even then, I wonder what the situation is there. But they seem like they're so confident that this is the signing to take them to that next level. And it should be. It really should be. Like, their front line needs that guy. Obviously, they have Saka, but he's doing everything. Like, they need someone to come in, just put balls in the back of the net. And now he doesn't have to be the best player on the team. So Saka is going to do a lot of that creative work and get him the ball. Like, him receiving crosses from Saka could be really scary, honestly. But in transition too, he's a monster. And if they get like a Rodrigo on the left, that front three is stupid. Like, stupid. Hopefully they do not get Rodrigo. Hopefully they just get Madueke and rotate him and Martinelli on the left. That would be a little bit better for us. Do you have any thoughts on the whole thing Lexi just brought up, Eric, about him sitting out of training really quickly before we move on to the next one?
Honestly, I haven't been super tapped into what's going on. So I don't really have too much to say on it, but like I have just seen a few of like the little headlines and like, I don't know, I feel like it's caused a little bit of a stir. But as far as like my personal opinions, just because I haven't really been tapped in, can't really give my personal opinion on it.
No, fair. But yeah, Arsenal in general, really at this point, I think this next year it's win or bust for this project.
Oh yeah.
If they don't win anything major next year, Arteta, you're cooked, buddy. Like, there's no more. They keep saying like phase 4, phase 5, like there's no more phases to go.
Bro needs to shave his head to really lock in,
bro. You gotta lock in. Maresca showed you the way, bro. You gotta lock in. It's over if you guys don't win something this year. Because Saliba will go to Madrid. I'm telling you right now, that dude's gonna go to Madrid if you don't win something.
You got Tottenham winning trophies.
It's crazy. And they are looking at, like you said, Rodrigo, Madueke, also Eze from Crystal Palace. Apparently they really want Eze. That would be an interesting addition as well if they grab him, but I think that the links have gone a bit quiet. Some other quick ones. Spurs, they're making some signings. Tell, who's on loan for them from Bayern, they officially signed him permanently, 35 mil. I think that's a good signing. He's young, like a Son replacement / up top. He can play left wing or striker. I think that's a solid signing. Kudus from West Ham for 65 mil. He's an interesting player. Last season he wasn't too good, but the year before that he was crazy. I think he has a lot of talent. I'm not sure exactly the fit because they have Kulusevski playing in those areas. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if he starts week in, week out. Hopefully he does. I like him a lot, but that's an interesting signing too. And they're looking at Visa from Brentford, who played with Thomas Frank, their new manager, and he scored like 19 goals last year. That's a good signing to get that. Morgan Gibbs White from Forest, they're looking at as well. That would be an interesting signing. It's like, if Spurs get all these guys in, like, I don't know if they finished 17th, but I think we could be looking at a team storming back up to like a top 8 finish at least next year. So that would be very interesting to see. Any thoughts on any of those guys? No problem if you don't. I can run on to the next.
No, I think they're good signings, especially, is it Visa? I always just in my head I'm like Wissa. Yeah, I don't know why, but
yeah, I hear both.
He's a great signing, I think. And then I just got a comment. I think it was Kudus who I saw him, like they're doing the medical or something, like with the thing over his heart, and they were like, he was like, "Oh, it's all Spurs there." I was just like,
"That's cool."
That's a crazy thing to say.
Yeah, that's
but
funny.
No. Overall, though, I think Spurs. I mean, look, they were in a pretty bad position, like us last season, and they are having a much better window. So, I can only praise.
For sure. And they might lose like Romero or something. I know he's been gagging to go to like Atleti or something like that, but
let him go.
Let him go. Yeah, let him go. Bring someone else in. And if they stay fit, I don't know. That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting for sure. Some quick takes, not Premier League. I just wanted to touch on really quickly. Nico Williams baited the hell out of Barcelona. I don't know if you guys have seen this story, but basically Nico to Barca, they've been talking about this since the Euros, where you get Yamal on one wing, Nico on the other. This is like Spain's new core. And we have Pedri, we have Gavi, like we're going to go crazy. And last year it didn't happen. Barca, financially cooked in general. And this year they kind of had given up on that. Apparently Nico Williams went back and approached them again and said, I really want this move to happen. Barca's trying to make it happen. They're moving around the books, and they're like, okay, we can make this work, but apparently there's a little something about you might not be able to be registered for like Champions League or something to start the season, like how Olmo was last year, where he didn't get registered for a bit into the season. And apparently Nico Williams was using Barca as a bargaining chip to Athletic Bilbao to increase his wages. Now he's on like one of the craziest contracts. I don't know the exact number, but some crazy contract.
10 years.
10-year contract. And to be fair, his boyhood club, came out of their academy. I can respect wanting to stay with your club. And now he's gassing it like, oh, my heart has always been in Bilbao. I was never gonna leave Athletic Bilbao. Like, this is my boyhood club, my academy. You're not that loyal, bro. You're not that loyal. If the Barca thing would have worked, it would have worked, bro. You're not loyal for leveraging your club against another club. Like that's gas it. But yeah, I just wanted to put.
Mind you, Barca found out because of social media. They didn't even like hear from his team or anything.
Crazy. Which, because this dude and Lamine are apparently best friends, but yeah, we'll see about that, bro. But yeah, that was a whole crazy saga. So Barca will not be getting him. So maybe Rashford, that opens the door. You never know. We'll see about that.
Yeah, but let me say this: Rashford is no Nico Williams, bro.
At all, bro. At all. And last
Barca would be doing him a favor with that signing.
Heavily. That would be funny if that even happened.
And I like Rashford too, but it's like.
There's
I'm
levels.
just being real.
There's levels.
There are levels.
And quick one too. We talked about KDB going to Napoli on a free a few weeks ago. Now Modric is going to AC Milan on a free this summer. Serie A is gonna be fun, bro. It's gonna be fun.
I cannot wait to watch Serie A this season.
Fun signing. That's a really fun signing. I know you use like out of the Italian teams, you like AC Milan, so that must be cool for you. I know.
Yeah, and they've definitely been lacking a bit in some areas. I feel very inconsistent. And I think Modric will bring part of what they need in the midfield, as well as maybe just a good, a guiding light. Mm-hmm. Because let's be real, he is one of the GOATs in the midfield.
For sure.
Easily.
For sure. And we'll talk about that in a future week, because he was not in our World Cup last week, but
he was not. He was not there.
He's up there. And that's a good way to see him and like KDB extend their careers, play in a bit of a slower league. And hopefully we can still watch them for a few more years to come. But the last
Lexi.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, go
I was just saying, what draws you to AC Milan, man?
What draws me to it is simply the fact that when I was a kid, my godfather gifted me a fake Ibrahimovic jersey, and I love that jersey and Ibrahimovic. And that just drew me to them. Simple as
no
that.
No Captain America fandom?
Man, no.
I'm just trolling, man. I'm just trolling.
Not that MAGA dude, man.
Oh my god, Captain America, that dude's funny. Former Chelsea player, glad he's gone. But anyway,
not sold to Arsenal.
Yeah, not yet, bro. Not yet. They all end up at Arsenal one day. The last topic for today. This is still wrapped in the transfers, but just something I want to talk about with you guys, especially after the Club World Cup, and then we'll end on this, is Real Madrid. They got clapped by PSG in the semifinal. Xabi Alonso went with some lineup like Vinny, Mbappe, and putting that young kid Garcia out on the right wing. He's not a right winger. He's just very much a striker. He's trying stuff out. It's not really working. Rodrigo can't get a minute in that team. He's bringing on people like Brahim Diaz and all these other players instead of Rodrigo. And really, they have a dilemma with their forward line, because Vinny and Mbappe want to play in the same positions. And a year ago, we said the same thing, and we thought maybe it'd work out over time. Clearly, they can't play together at the best of their abilities. When
Vinny can't play, bro.
That's another
Vinny can't play.
About Vinny, because Vinny, you're on the
fraud watch.
You're on the clock, bro. But when Vinny was injured, Mbappe looked crazy. When Mbappe wasn't playing the best, Vinny looked good to start last season. But together, when they're both healthy, it's not a fit. And if they want to play in the same positions, Mbappe is better. Let's just put it what it is. Mbappe is better. I know Vinny's the one who's been with Madrid for years. He won Champions Leagues with them. But at the end of the day, which is kind of crazy to say, Like, you've been with Madrid, you guys have won everything, and they bring in this guy, and all of a sudden you're the one who might get pushed out. Kind of crazy, but at the end of the day, Mbappe is the better player in those positions. Now, Rodrigo, it looks like he's gone. Like, he can't get a minute. Vinny, I think even if Rodrigo's gone, I don't think that solves the problem, because Mbappe and Vinny still want to play in the same spots. So I have some ideas, but I just want to hear from you guys what you think. What do you do with this Madrid lineup, this forward line going into next year? Someone they could buy? I don't know. Like,
Hey man, you put Endrick in there.
Maybe.
No, honestly, dude, I don't even know, man. Because like last season, like on paper, the squad was crazy. Yes, there were conflicts with the positioning, but like you said, we thought it would sort itself out. And to be honest, if I'm like Real Madrid hierarchy, I mean, Mbappe is the obvious choice. Like you said, he's got the better skill. He's got the better marketability too. People know him as one of the hopeful best players in the world. You know, he was for a bit. I think he still has to prove himself. There's been a bit of a dry spell. But it's crazy to me that, because even like comparing like Vinny to Rodrigo, like Rodrigo is always that guy, I think. Vinny, we had that Ballon d'Or discussion that one season. I believed in that one season, but I think just over time, Rodrigo has proved himself more as a player. And so it's kind of crazy to me that he's the one who is being shunned and like can't even get a minute to play. And then we're seeing Vinny trying to do rainbows and then flop into the ground. Like, it's just, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know what the ideal signing would be for this, to be honest.
Yeah, I think before anything, maybe it sounds crazy, but I think you got to sell Vinny, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
No, that's what I'm implying.
I think you got to sell Vinny, which you never would have said 2 years ago. But
yeah,
one, you know, he already got to deal with all the racists out in Madrid. They don't like him anyway. Why not leave, bro? Like, why not leave? I'm not trying to deal with that on a weekly basis anyway. If you're not performing, they just all of a sudden you're racist. If you're performing, you're the best black dude ever. Like, that's not worth it, bro. But I think you sell Vinny, you get at least 150 million if you sell Vinny.
150?
At least, bro. They're trying to sell Isak for 150 million. Vinny has won the Champions League. I'm not saying he's better.
How many years left does he have on his contract? Do we know?
I have no idea. That's a great question. Hey, yeah, that also, it does depend on that for sure.
Because, yeah.
But are you checking that?
Yeah.
I'll let you check that. Yeah. Maybe I'm guessing, but it's tough to say.
Current deal expires in 2 years, 2027.
Okay. So
it wouldn't be a crazy time to sell for a price like that.
Yeah. And I think it's hard to tell what the market's really like because Mbappe went on a free. I think Mbappe would have been able to determine the price for someone like Vinny, like maybe take however many million off the Mbappe price. But I think if you can sell, if Newcastle can sell Isak for 100, Verge just went for 125. And Vinny, as much as I think Vinny has been a bum over the last year, he's more accomplished than all of these guys. So I think 150 wouldn't be crazy. I think especially for Madrid, they don't let dudes go in their prime that easily. But I think if you get 150 mil for Vinny, you push Mbappe out to the left, then you have money to play with to bring in the best striker in the world. If you guys want to go get Isak, if you want to go get, they're not going to get Haaland. Haaland glazes Man City, but
hey man, we got Højlund though.
Yeah,
we got Højlund.
Yeah, you want to lose everything. Yeah, if you want to go get, I don't know, they could have went for Gyökeres or someone like that. Maybe they want to go for someone more proven. I don't know, but
I think they need someone with more experience.
Okay, now I'm thinking the striker market. Who even is that? Osimhen probably would have been the guy, honestly. Like if for however many million. I think
because I think he's going to Galatasaray for 75.
Yeah, which is not, if you sell Vinny for 150, bring in Osimhen for 75, and bring in another right winger. I think at this point, if you sell Vinny,
you're in the green. You're in the green.
And I think also you don't need to sell Rodrigo if you sell Vinny. I think Rodrigo's more versatile. He can play on the right, he can play on the left, he can even do a job in the middle. I think then you have a really interesting team. The tough thing is, even if you solve the front line, you should have all these midfielders who want to play, and they have so many. I can name too many to start off the top of my head. Like Arda Güler is trying to break through as a 10, but Jude wants to play in those areas. Even though Jude's massive, this dude never wants to play as an 8. He always wants to play as a 10 for some reason, for both them and England. You have Kamavinga, Tchouaméni, Valverde, who's playing right back half the time now. Which is crazy. There's just too many. Brahim Diaz, too many midfielders. And if you're gonna push Güler out to right wing, then Rodrigo's cooked. It's just tough. But I think really, I wouldn't be surprised if in a year's time we're seriously talking about a Vinny sale. And I think right now they're gonna want Xabi Alonso to try to figure something out. Like give him another year, give him the year to try to work something out, and maybe in 6 months.
I think the winter window.
Yeah, maybe in 6 months we're like either he's.
I think that's where we get. I think we hear about talks then.
Yeah, there's no way in hell they sell Mbappe. It's just
talks or unlocks.
Literally talked or unlocking the best team in Europe again. There's one or the other. I think there's literally can't be some middle ground where they're kind of good, whatever. It's either they go crazy or they're absolute trash.
Especially with Barca being the team they are.
Yeah.
And like what they've proven this past season, I think Madrid has to really lock in on what they're doing. Xavi's got to, come in strong. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's one we're going to keep our eyes on because the Club World Cup was not the best showing. It's cool because we got to see them try different lineups, try different, like that Garcia kid who's starting up top for them. He looked good. He looked very interesting. I know he's young. I mean, if he's starting or he gets more minutes, what happens to Endrick? Like you said, like I thought Endrick was supposed to be the guy who's coming through, the young dude, and now this Garcia dude is starting.
The chosen one compared to Pele.
Yeah, apparently he was that guy, and now this Garcia dude from the academy is coming through. So I don't know what's happening with Endrick, but that's one to keep our eyes on for the start of the season, or just the transfer window. If Rodrigo goes, what happens? But any last thoughts on that from either of you before we head up out of here?
That's it for me, man.
I will just say, like, when you have a star-studded team like Real Madrid, it's kind of sad that they haven't seen any hardware. So I feel like, as far as what I've seen, like, you don't want to make it so that you're just remembered as like a team that had all the pieces but just could not make them fit, and that's what it seems like. As far as I know, like I know that like there's been tension, right, with like Mbappe. No, maybe it's not like real tension, but I know like Mbappe prefers obviously like the left wing, and so they don't have like a genuine person to be the number 9 or like the center forward or whatever. So yeah, I will just echo what you guys said. Like, it is, all things point to having to go to the transfer window and having to pick up somebody new. I don't know who that is. I don't know what the market looks like right now, but it's kind of unfortunate because you had a lot of Madrid fans really popping it when Mbappe got signed, and when they just, people were just really feeling like this was going to be a team that was going to dominate for years to come. And it's kind of crazy to see that hasn't been the case. So, just a lot going on.
No, for sure. That's, yeah, it's funny because now I'm going to say flashbacks, but I wasn't conscious of what was going on at the time. But say 20 years ago, the Galacticos era where they're bringing in R9, Beckham, Zidane, all these guys coming in for Madrid, and that team, like, they won the league. I think they won a Champions League. Guys, Zidane is Champions League, but that wasn't the most successful team ever. Like, marketing wise, Madrid, biggest club in the world. They got all the biggest players in the world. But on the actual field, they actually were getting cooked by Barcelona. Like, Ronaldinho came and destroyed the Galacticos era. So now we could be seeing history repeat itself, where now they bring in Mbappe. You got Jude. I know they won the Champions League, Jude and Vinny, but Jude, Mbappe, Vinny, all these big guys coming in, and it just doesn't fit. Like, it doesn't work, and it's not. And then the real parallel is after the Galacticos era back then, Barca through the academy went on to bring out Iniesta, Xavi, Messi, like all these Busquets, all these great guys. And right now, 2025, the academy's bringing out Pedri. I know Pedri technically played at some other club, but Pedri, Gavi, obviously Lamine Yamal, all these dudes, Balde, all these dudes out of their academy, which is kind of an interesting parallel to that time. And Barca spanked them last year. Every time they played, they spanked them. So clearly, the big signings don't mean everything. So we'll see exactly how that goes going into next season. But yeah, that was a long pod. I know we yapped about a lot. We didn't mean to talk about all these things for as long as we did, but how was I not gonna glaze?
Yeah, now we done with that. We done with that.
Gonna glaze champions of the world. But thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, like we say every week, we're keeping it going. We're having fun with it. We're gonna do another one of those World Cups next week, so keep an eye out because that was super fun, and we got some redemption to come for some of these players, and the Neymar debate. We will have that, maybe not next week, but at some point soon we're gonna have the Neymar debate, so keep an eye out for that as well. But like I said, thank you guys. Like, subscribe, all that good YouTube algorithm stuff. We very much appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Yes, sir, man. Wiggly, 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 wiggly.
Peace out, y'all. Take care, man.